Let's start with our first news. Arman was left speechless after hearing Joe Rogan's blunt advice about how he can finally secure a UFC title shot. During a recent podcast discussion, Joe Rogan spoke directly about Arman's situation and what he believes is holding him back from reaching the top. Joe Rogan explained that if Arman wants to fight for Ilya at 55, it is a very interesting matchup. He described Ilya as extremely slick, technical, and very hard to hit. He also highlighted how dangerous Ilya looks in his prime, pointing out his flexibility, movement, and unusual mobility drills that fans often see online. Joe Rogan continued by saying that Arman cannot afford to waste this stage of his career. He stressed that this is the most important phase of an athlete's life, and if it slips away, it never comes back. He said Arman needs to stay focused, stay disciplined, and stop making mistakes outside the cage. In his words, he urged him to stop headbutting people and just do the right thing consistently. According to Joe Rogan, Arman might already have been a champion if everything outside the fights had stayed under control. He suggested that some of Arman's setbacks may have cost him key opportunities, especially in close fights where margins were extremely small. He even pointed back to situations like the Oliveira fight, saying that in a full 5-round proper battle, the outcome could have been very different. The clip quickly went viral across social media and MMA communities, eventually reaching Arman himself. The 29-year-old contender later reacted in a calm and composed manner after hearing the comments. Rather than pushing back aggressively, Arman appeared reflective, suggesting that he may actually take the advice seriously moving forward. Joe Rogan once again emphasized that if Arman can stay consistent and keep everything together outside competition, he still has a real chance to become a champion. He repeated that the matchup between Arman and Ilya would be a very dangerous and high-level fight, especially given Ilya's precision, timing, and defensive skills. The discussion has now sparked major debate among fans, with many wondering whether Arman can make the adjustments needed to finally reach the top of the division and earn his long-awaited title opportunity. Move on to another news. Dana White has revealed a shocking update about a new UFC White House fight that was just added in dramatic fashion. According to him, the matchup between Hoyt and Derek Lewis has now officially been added to the White House card after what he described as a crazy performance. Dana White explained that during the event, he told Derek Lewis that even the president had asked about him not being on the card. He said to him, "Derek, the president just asked me why you're not on the card. Do you want to fight on the White House card?" And Derek Lewis immediately responded without hesitation, saying, "Of course I do. Tell the president thank you. I want to do it." After that moment, everything escalated quickly. The fight night continued, and Hoyt delivered a strong performance, beating the number 5 ranked fighter in the world. That performance changed everything in real time and opened the door for the matchup to be finalized. Joe Rogan also got involved in the conversation during the broadcast, asking if there was still room on the White House card. That question reportedly pushed discussions even further, and Dana White confirmed that after going back and talking it through, the fight between Hoyt and Derek Lewis was added within the last 10 minutes. Dana White described the situation as completely organic, saying the fight basically built itself in real time during the event. He added that President Trump played a role in pushing part of the idea forward, while Joe Rogan helped shape the other half through his live commentary and interest in the matchup. In the end, both fighters accepted and agreed to the bout, making it official for the White House card. Dana White confirmed that they are now adding one more major fight, Hoyt versus Derek Lewis, to the growing lineup. He called the entire sequence of events unusual but exciting, highlighting how rare it is for a fight to be created so quickly during a live moment. According to him, everything came together in a way that felt almost scripted, even though it was completely real. Dana White wrapped up by saying he would see everyone at the upcoming press conference. As anticipation continues to build around the expanding White House fight card and the unexpected additions being made in real time. Move on to another news. Charles Oliveira has clapped back at Nate Diaz after recent comments that sparked attention across the MMA world. The situation began when Nate Diaz appeared on Theo Von's podcast, where he took aim at Oliveira and criticized him over a supposed past refusal to accept a fight. Diaz also questioned his run as BMF champion, adding fuel to the growing tension between the two fighters. Now, Charles Oliveira has finally responded, and he did not hold back. He said that Nate Diaz has been talking nonsense as usual, shutting down the criticism and pushing back against the claims made about him. At the same time, Oliveira made it clear that he is open to the idea of a potential super fight. Despite the back and forth, Oliveira expressed interest in facing Diaz, especially if the UFC decides to bring him back for another run. He suggested that a matchup like this could make sense for fans, particularly if the BMF title is put on the line again. The idea of Nate Diaz returning and stepping straight into a high-profile fight has already sparked major discussion. Fans have been debating whether the clash would still have the same impact, given Diaz's long absence from active competition and Oliveira's continued presence at the top level. Charles Oliveira, however, seems focused on the opportunity rather than the drama. He acknowledged Diaz's comments, but emphasized that he is ready for any big challenge that brings excitement to the division. In his view, if the UFC wants to make the fight happen, he is willing to step in and settle things inside the octagon. The exchange has now added another layer of intrigue to the ongoing conversations around both fighters' futures. While Nate Diaz continues to speak openly about his past frustrations, Oliveira appears more interested in turning the situation into a potential blockbuster matchup. For now, the possibility of Charles Oliveira versus Nate Diaz remains just talk, but the tension between both sides is clearly building, and fans are already imagining what a BMF showdown between them could look like if it ever becomes official. Move on to another news. Jon Jones has once again sparked headlines after being spotted talking with Hunter Campbell, while also sharing what appears to be a positive update about a possible return. The situation comes after months of uncertainty following the UFC Freedom 250 fallout, where Jon Jones publicly called for his release from the promotion. Since then, there has been constant speculation about whether he would ever step back into the octagon. Some fans and analysts still believe a comeback fight could happen, possibly against Alex Pereira or Tom Aspinall, depending on how negotiations develop. At first, those hopes took a hit when Jon Jones made it clear in an interview with Red Corner MMA that he was stepping away from fighting entirely. He stated that his gloves are hung up and that he is now focused on business. In his words, it was no more fighter Jon Jones, and he described himself as fully transitioning into the businessman. However, just a day later, Jon Jones completely shifted his tone. Speaking in a new interview with the Schmo, he revealed that he had recently spoken with Hunter Campbell about a potential return to the UFC. He explained that the conversation took place the same night, adding that things are still very open. Jon Jones also mentioned that he recently underwent stem cell treatment shortly before the White House card was being curated, saying he is now starting to feel the effects. He added that physically, he feels much better and stronger than before, but insisted there is no pressure on any decision right now. He made it clear that his current focus is on coaching Gable, while also leaving the door open for the future, saying that anything could still happen depending on how things develop. In addition to the UFC discussions, Jon Jones was also seen interacting with popular streamer Clavicular, where he praised his personality and energy. He even invited him to Albuquerque, New Mexico, to hang out, speaking casually and joking throughout the conversation. He described him in a positive way and kept the mood light, showing a more relaxed side outside of fighting. The clip also showed a casual exchange about travel, with mentions of Arizona and Albuquerque, before the conversation ended on a friendly note. Meanwhile, unrelated meme updates and event promotions circulated online, adding to the overall viral nature of the moment. But the main focus remains on Jon Jones and his uncertain yet increasingly possible UFC return trajectory. Move on to another news. Conor was not happy after a recent ranking list sparked controversy across the MMA community. An outlet known as Complex Sports published its list of the top 25 greatest UFC fighters of all time, and Conor was ranked number 18, a placement that immediately caught attention and triggered backlash. What made the situation even more interesting is that Conor had actually been following the outlet before the list was posted. As one of the most influential and recognizable figures in UFC history, many fans expected him to react strongly to the ranking, and he did not disappoint. Shortly after seeing the list, Conor took to the comment section and directly responded. He wrote, "Unfollowed," clearly expressing his frustration with the placement. He then followed it up with another sharp remark, saying, "Stick to mixed taps," a comment that quickly went viral across social media platforms. For context, Complex is widely known for its entertainment and culture coverage, especially in hip-hop and music under its original branding direction. Conor's comment appeared to be a direct criticism of the outlet's credibility when it comes to ranking elite MMA fighters, especially given his legacy inside the octagon. As one of the sport's biggest superstars, Conor's reaction immediately drew attention from fans and analysts. Many debated whether ranking him at number 18 accurately reflects his impact, accomplishments, and influence on the sport, or whether he should have been placed significantly higher. Following his response, reports suggest that the original post from Complex Sports was later deleted. The outlet then reportedly reworked and reposted a revised version of the rankings, likely in response to the backlash and viral attention generated by Conor's comments. The entire situation once again highlights how influential Conor remains in the MMA world, even outside of active competition. A single reaction from him was enough to shift online discussion, spark debate, and even force changes to a published ranking list. As discussions continue, fans remain divided over the placement, but the moment has clearly reinforced Conor's lasting impact on the sport and his ability to dominate headlines with just a few words. Move on to another news. The fight for the vacated light heavyweight title between Jiří Procházka and Carlos Ulberg delivered pure chaos from start to finish, as fans watched two elite contenders battle for the championship, left open after Alex Pereira moved up to heavyweight. From the opening moments, Jiří came out aggressive, immediately establishing pressure and rhythm. He repeatedly targeted Ulberg's lead leg with sharp kicks, trying to slow him down and disrupt his movement early in the fight. The strategy appeared to be working, as Ulberg began to show signs of discomfort while trying to adjust his stance and timing. As the rounds developed, Jiří continued to build momentum, landing consistent strikes and forcing Carlos into defensive reactions. During one of the exchanges, it appeared that Ulberg may have suffered a calf injury, which further limited his mobility inside the cage. At that point, the fight seemed to be shifting heavily in Jiří's favor, as he pushed forward with confidence, sensing a potential finish. However, everything changed in an instant. Out of nowhere, Carlos Ulberg found a perfectly timed opening and unleashed a massive shot that caught Jiří clean. The impact immediately sent Jiří crashing to the ground, completely shifting the energy inside the arena. What looked like a controlled fight for Jiří suddenly turned into survival mode. Carlos wasted no time once the opportunity appeared. He followed up aggressively on the ground, maintaining pressure and delivering clean strikes as Jiří attempted to recover. The momentum swing was dramatic as Ulberg fully capitalized on the moment and took control of the situation. The referee quickly stepped in as the damage continued, awarding Carlos Ulberg a TKO victory and securing him the biggest win of his career. In an instant, he went from being visibly compromised to becoming the new face of the division. The MMA community immediately reacted to the shocking finish, with fans and analysts debating how the fight completely flipped despite Jiří's early dominance. Many pointed out how one perfectly placed strike was enough to erase several minutes of control and change the outcome entirely. In the end, Carlos Ulberg walked away with a statement victory, while Jiří was left stunned by how quickly the fight slipped away after appearing firmly in his control. Move on to another news. The MMA community erupted with reactions following the shocking outcome of Jiří Procházka versus Carlos Ulberg, as fans, fighters, and analysts all shared their thoughts on one of the most dramatic title fights in recent memory. Macy commented, saying, "Jiří just went out in pure brute code. He didn't want to take advantage of the leg, so he chose to trade in the pocket. He went out on his shield. Carlos Ulberg gets it." Her reaction quickly spread across social media, capturing the chaotic nature of the finish. Stephen Thompson also weighed in, writing, "What sucks is that if it isn't ACL, then he'll be out for a year or so. So what happens with the interim situation? Such a rough way to win a title." His concern focused on both the injury and the future of the division. Jamal Hill reacted bluntly, stating, "KO with an Achilles is crazy," reflecting on how unusual the finish appeared inside the cage. Many fans echoed the same disbelief after seeing Jiří's compromised movement before the knockout. Ariel Helwani added further insight, saying that respected analyst Brian Sutterer believed it may have been an ACL injury. He explained that the shin appeared to shift unnaturally, and the calf movement suggested something serious had occurred. He also noted that a full breakdown video was already in progress, calling it an unbelievable turn of events. Gilbert Burns simply wrote, "Poor Yuri," while Bilal Muhammad questioned whether surgery would be required and whether the title situation would now become vacant. Mike Bond also reacted, saying, "Oh my God, Carlos Ulberg KOs Jiri Prochazka while injured. Insane." MMA analyst Guru commented that it was the worst possible way for Jiri to lose, but still praised Ulberg for finding the finish. He pointed out that Jiri failed to fully capitalize on Ulberg's compromised leg and instead allowed him back into the fight, where Ulberg landed a clean counterhook to secure the knockout victory. Nolan King wrote, "Holy, just when you think you've seen it all." Derek Brunson questioned Jiri's decision-making, saying, "Yuri, what in the IQ was that?" The Weasel criticized the fight IQ even further, saying Jiri threw the win away by showing concern for Ulberg's leg instead of maintaining pressure, calling it a clear mistake that changed the outcome. Aaron Bronstater added that Ulberg won the title despite being compromised and suggested Jiri would struggle to process how the fight slipped away. He concluded that Ulberg seized the opportunity when it mattered most, while Jiri effectively handed it away. The coverage wrapped up the UFC highlights as attention now shifts toward UFC 328 in New Jersey next month.